we're a little green. I don't think it's quite Kelly green, but I'm not Irish. But my kids, interesting fact, my kids are all Irish citizens.
Oh.
As my mother-in-law was from Ireland. So I had to
There you
put on green because of that. So, all right. Anyway, we are here to discuss your success in the Profit Insiders for Interior Designers group coaching program. So you were in one of my past programs. Actually, you just sort of graduated, right?
I did. Yes.
All right. So how did you do? How did you like it?
In a word, amazing. And yeah, I would say for sure, so many benefits that I know we'll get into as we go through this. But I think just the opportunity to connect not only with you as a incredibly talented coach, but a community of designers at all different levels and all different experiences, which has been amazing.
And how did you feel about there being different levels, newer designers, more seasoned designers, even designers who specialized in window treatments or kitchens and baths only? Like I mix them together in a group, and I actually do that purposely, where a lot of people think that wouldn't work. What do you say to people who say it doesn't work?
I think it was absolutely a phenomenal experience because I found myself each time we were together learning a little bit from everybody. So even if it was a relatively new designer in the field, that person just graduated. So I was learning a lot about their experience, to the very seasoned people who've been in the business for many, many years and are doing an amazing job. So everybody who was in the group provided something that we could take away from all of the time, not just the camaraderie, but the ability to connect, and then to connect offline too. So not just in our coaching sessions, but then to be engaged with each other offline or through the Facebook page. It was just, I can't say enough about how much, it's actually a lot that you can take out of each of these sessions. But it was just, I think, wonderful to have a wide breadth of experience, from commercial designers to residential designers to people who specialized in one or two things.
Yeah, I like the fact when one person says, I got my first job as a new build, and they're like, help. So I weigh in, but then there's someone else in the group that says, oh, I do new builds all the time, da, 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 da. And then, like you said, connect offline, get that additional assistance if you need it. Yeah. If you were to say, what was the most important or the single feature of Profit Insiders for Interior Designers that made the biggest difference for you?
I knew when I came in that pricing was my biggest struggle. I had no idea how to price because it's very hard to get competitive analysis in your market area. So to come in and to learn right off the bat, like, here is a way to structure your ladders of service. This is what you charge. This is how much time it should take. That was probably the biggest aha moment for me.
And has it changed how much money you're bringing into your business at this point?
Absolutely. The opportunity to really understand how to do an effective in-home consultation, how to structure that, how to get the people to understand the fees associated with that. That was phenomenal because I struggled the most coming into this with just trying to figure out, how do I price myself?
Yes.
How should I do this? So I knew, like everybody in the group, I think we're all the same. We work really, really hard. We enjoy what we do from a design perspective. Like, that part of it is all good and all fun, meeting people the whole bit. But most of us, I'm sure, continue to be underpaid. And the ability to understand, this is how much work it takes, this is what I'm doing, and to be able to concisely convey that to a client with confidence has been a huge boost.
Yeah. And you know what? You've been in business for how many years?
A long time. I opened the business initially in 2004.
It's amazing how I think seasoned designers, they sometimes hesitate to join a group program, I think, because it feels like they should know the answers already. Yeah. So when you were making the decision to go into the program, what held you back, or what made you pull the trigger?
What made me pull the trigger is probably easier to answer. I met you during April of 2020 during the 19 hours sessions that were put on, which was that was phenomenal in and of itself. But at that time, I made a note. I knew I needed a coach. There was no doubt in my mind. And when I met the people on 19 hours, you were one of the names that I wrote down to say, I got to check out Nancy. So after that was all finished. I did, check out your website, and that's when I called you for my first initial call. And after that, it was, I think there was just, for coaching, I think you have to connect with somebody who you feel affinity with. You just have to be able to feel like, oh my God, I love working with this person. With this was just phenomenal. Can't say enough about it. But that was the thing. Like once I met you on 19 hours, after I checked things out on your website, after we had our first call, it was like, okay, this is a no-brainer. Like you just have to do it. That's all.
So. You know what? Because the lessons you're learning are going to just keep on giving for years, right? So my goal is always to get everyone to get their income and their profitability higher than ever. I like to use the over 100,000 if you haven't hit there yet, or double your income if you've already hit that. That to me makes everything worthwhile, and that's what you're working towards.
Right.
How did you find the walkie-talkie support? Because I personally feel like that is the thing in my program that makes the most difference, besides the 150 lessons in the membership site and the group programs and the website review and the social media review, like all that stuff. To me, the walkie-talkie, where you can ask me a question when you're in a stuck position during the week where there's not a group coaching call coming up for another week or two, you don't sit there stuck. Like, how was that for you?
Right. Truthfully, I did not take as much advantage of it as I should have. However, I did always go back and listen to everybody else's. And that in and of itself was a learning experience for me. So I think I may have done it a couple times for you. One was the biggest challenge that I had, which was a client who didn't want to pay for her services. So we did it quickly on Voxer, but then we followed up with a one-on-one, and you gave me a lot more language to feel comfortable in just letting this particular client go. So that was very helpful. But I think the Voxer is definitely a very beneficial tool, because yes, those things come up on a regular basis where you say, oh my God, how am I going to respond to this? So the ability to get you like that and to get your response is very important.
All right. I mean, I agree. I think that's the biggest distinguishing factor, plus a small group.
Right.
And then how did you find the membership site?
Oh, I love it. I mean, I think there's so much information in there. There truly is. But it's the kind of thing that I can go back. Like I knew one of the, I think the biggest learnings for me throughout this whole process was I felt like now I finally have a roadmap of things that I really need to address. So it gave me an opportunity to prioritize. And now I can continue to go back to that membership site. I can, even though I've gone through almost all of the tutorials in there, I can continue to go back. So those areas where I'm still stuck, I can go back and refresh myself, remind myself what they are. So the membership site is phenomenal.
Thank you. We work hard on that site. And we're actually adding, we have, I think, 7 or 8 new products that are going up in there. So we're going to be adding job descriptions. We're going to be adding employee review templates. We're going to be adding a welcome packet template to the membership site. We have like this whole list, and we're just trying to prioritize. We're even going to add a example responses to difficult situations. The ones that I answer over and over again, we're going to try to add at least an example. So yeah, we're always adding to the membership site. So if someone is saying, oh my God, I can't spend this money, I don't have the money, what would you say to them at this point?
I think I struggled with it initially too. And part of it is just the recognition that you do have to spend money sometimes in order to make money. And when I look back at my expenses, I spent money through the years on things that didn't necessarily return any investment for me, particularly advertising or, certain things that I've tried. And I said, this is an investment in myself. I knew it was something that I needed. I was, pretty clear about that because again, working and not seeing it coming in financially.
Yes.
So I'm glad I did it, and I'm happy to be able to continue because it doesn't stop. I mean, it is a continuous cycle of learning and applying and refining what it is that we're doing. And I think the community of people is just phenomenal.
Thank you for that. I think that, what people don't know is that even once you graduate from one of my group programs, I offer you a continuation into the membership site only, or my open office hours, which you can still talk to me. So there's options. I don't just leave you hanging with all this information and nowhere to go with it if you don't want to be left, right? So last question is the size of the group and how much personalization you felt you had in my group program. Did you feel like I understood your business, even though I had all these other people and I have 30 something clients?
Right. Absolutely felt that you understood us. I think we all had adequate time, easy way for us to be able to throw out our, challenge of the week or whatever it was, and for us to all have an opportunity to talk about it. So I never felt, even in the beginning when our group was a little bit larger, I never felt that we were not able to talk to you directly, get information, have our concerns addressed and answered. So I don't really think the size made that much of a difference. I enjoyed meeting the other people in the group and, to hear their experiences, but you always gave personal attention. And I always knew that we could reach you if we
That's right.
had to.
That's right. You can always reach me.
Exactly.
Even when I'm on vacation, which I probably have to correct because I teach
Right.
you guys not to be accessible, right? But then
Exactly. And I tell all my friends, the people with whom I work, vendors that I work with, or what I call my collaborators in the field. And I'm often saying things to them like, well, Nancy, my business coach told me that we should be doing this. So I'm trying to share the wealth.
Awesome. Yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you for being here. I wanted people who are on the fence, which are often people who are very silent. They're sort of suffering alone. And
right.
I mean, this group that we're broadcasting in, and we're broadcasting in LinkedIn and YouTube also, but the Interior Design Business Forum is over 8,000 people. And so many, I can tell from the posts, how many people are still not making the money they deserve. I saw a report, I think it was last year, that said on average, interior designers only make $60,000 a year on average. And I'm like, that is ridiculous for the amount of work that you guys do. And that even drives me more just to help you guys make more money, because this industry is one of the hardest working industries. So many moving parts, and it's changing so fast that without a support system, I feel like people do get lost sometimes.
I agree wholeheartedly.
All right. Is there anything I didn't cover that you wanted to say?
I think maybe just the final thought for me is that the coaching sessions and being a member of the group is definitely, I think, incredibly powerful. And I think everybody should consider doing it. It's money well spent. It's definitely, I mean, you do one consult and you can make your fee for that month. So
exactly.
It's that part of it wasn't an issue. I just think it's a recognition that it is a work in progress, and it's something that we have to just keep working on all the time. Just keep improving, refining, moving forward. But if you enroll and you become a member of the team, the amount of information that is already there for you, templates, processes, things that you've been struggling with, like you can cut and paste, you can use all these things. And it just, once you get a system down pat, you don't have to keep reinventing the wheel. So
perfect. And I will mention one other thing, because it came to my attention recently. What do you say to people who would say, well, Nancy's never been a full interior designer. She was an art consultant. So how can she coach interior designers?
Honestly, that never even entered my mind. I mean, I think your understanding of business, finance, like all of the things that we have to be involved with, not just the art of interior design, but it's being a business owner, running your company. Like, how do you do that? And for me, you could have plopped in any area of expertise or any field. So I think for me, the most important thing was making the connection with you, knowing that you have this great amount of knowledge to share with all of us about how to run a business. And that, to me, was incredibly powerful. Not to mention the fact that you've obviously learned a lot by working with so many interior designers. So I never felt that was a hindrance ever.
Perfect. Yeah. And I don't think it is either, because honestly, I think it more like I don't have the emotions and the emotional tie to some of the problems that you guys have because I'm a little bit removed. But you're right. Being around interior designers for now 25 years, having a lot of best friends who are interior designers, and knowing where to get the answers for you guys, should I not have known the answer.
Exactly.
Is it happens. It happens. I have so many connections in this industry worldwide, especially in the United States, that I can always find an answer for you guys. So, well, thank you, Nadine, for being here.
Thank you, Nancy.
If anyone is interested in the next Profit Insiders for Interior Designers Group Coaching Program, applications are open now. I just checked my calendar with my manager before. We only have about 5 slots left for application reviews. So hopefully I don't get even more than that. But if I do, I will find a way to meet with everybody, as I always do. So fill out the application. It's no obligation to fill out the application, but you get to talk to me for 20 minutes about what's going on in your business. And it's no charge, which is very unusual. So take advantage while you can. All right, everyone, go have a great St. Patty's Day and Thursday, and I'll see you next time. Thanks, Nate.